Hello and welcome back. Even though I like to keep my channel mysterious, I will admit, I will give you a personal detail about myself. I am indeed a poet. And the reason why that's necessary for me to say is because if I tried to obscure that from this video, the rest of the video wouldn't make sense. It would be unnecessarily vague. Perhaps my previous videos were indeed unnecessarily vague, but hey, cheers to growth. I'm working on a poem that I need to perform next week. And I asked several people for feedback on what they think the best lines are so I can make sure to keep them. And love that because it was very clear that certain lines literally no one liked. And certain lines everyone liked. So that's pretty cool to see pretty consistently. I did like a progressive map of liked by 100% of people, 75% of people, 50% of people, 0% of people. So I know which ones are the strongest heavy hitters, the ones that are like mostly hitters, the ones that are like hit or miss, and the ones that are full miss, yeah? I will say because my phone is in grayscale, this video will not be grayscale for you because my screen is in grayscale, but I'm not recording in grayscale. It makes looking at documents really interesting because I use dark mode, but it's like white font. And it throws me off because I can't tell if I made my computer grayscale accidentally or if I'm just looking at something that's truly black and white. I wonder if I'll start having dreams in like the old, what is her name? Is it, she's Marvel? Grayscale Marvel show. It's not freaking WandaVision. Thank you. Yeah, like how when WandaVision starts. That's great. But anyway, the reason why I'm frustrated by this is because I write very long and very dense poems. And when I edit them, I have to edit them to be more clear to the general public, which is hard to do. And I also have to edit them to be shorter, but they're already dense. And usually when people shorten poems, they pack their best lines even tighter together. But I keep getting feedback that my shit's too dense. So I either have to read it hella slow so that people can get it, have to mouth it out, hello, or dumb it down. And yeah, obviously the answer is work on mouthing it out, slowing it down, being more dramatic so that the delivery really drills down the point that I'm trying to convey. But that counters the fact that like I have so much to say. I even asked ChatGPT for feedback on the poem, and ChatGPT was like, "This is too dense." I'm like, "Oh God, I'm too dense for the robots to understand." I'm sure Chat understood, but still, the fact that literally AI was like, "You're too dense," tragic. So now I have to go figure out how to loosen it up, how to put some more stuff in there. And I think it's so crazy because I understand everything in life is on a spectrum. Ugh. Because I think it's so crazy because the other side of the feedback is like, oh, you want to keep people engaged line for line. You want to cut out anything that doesn't add to your point, that doesn't add to your narrative, that doesn't keep people reeled in and paying attention. And now it's like, oh my God, actually you have way too much that it's making people not pay attention. But at least I know what lines really, really hit. And I know how to end on said line. It's just reordering everything in between. And then I asked a poet friend for his feedback, and he told me to make sure that the end really like I wrap it up, put a bow on it, tie it back to some of the things I said earlier, give a cohesive transition out. I guess it's my fault for trying to do all this the week before. Shout out to procrastination. At least it's not the day before. The week before is pretty wild because I have multiple performances in the coming weeks and I have to work on all of that. Whatever. Another thing that I'm also enjoying doing is I've turned off my iMessage notifications on my phone. So I only check text when I'm ready to check text instead of seeing a notification and be like, ooh, distraction, right? And it's been really interesting because it makes me focus for longer and longer periods. I've been working on this poem for like 3 hours straight. Yeah, damn. I didn't even notice it was that serious. For 3 hours straight. Whoa. See, now you learn something about yourself. You can focus for 3 hours minimum. Because I only stop because it's time for me to go to bed. And also so I don't strain my eyes by looking at the screen for too long, even though 3 hours means I should have taken at least 2 breaks an hour, which means 6 breaks. Which means I did strain my eyes. Desfortunamente. So yeah, actually, let me ask chat. I get feedback that my poems are somehow too dense. I don't understand the balance between too dense a poem and keeping every line engaging. Please help concisely. Seasoning, density is seasoning, not substance. Every line has to do a clear job. A dense line can do that. The problem is when it tries to do multiple jobs. Be a reference and a rhyme and a metaphor and wordplay and a punchline. Sorry, I'm too creative. Plain line is a handrail, poetic line is the height, dense line is the fireworks. Rule of thumb for stage, handrail, height, fireworks, handrail. So after a dense line, give a simple line that tells us what it meant emotionally. And I've done that before and people are like, oh, you don't have to repeat this part, we get it. I'm not in other people's head. How am I supposed to know what y'all get or don't get? But that's exactly why I ask people for feedback. That doesn't dumb it down, it lets the audience catch up. Your goal is not to make every line equally clever. Your goal is to make every line necessary. Okay, that was actually important. That's actually an important distinction. Because I thought, ooh, we're trying to make everything some crazy writing. No, just make it necessary to the story. Okay, poetry. Coaching. Poetry coaching. Note to self, ChatGPT said, your goal is not to make every line equally clever, your goal is to make every line necessary. I don't know what's necessary because I'm just having fun writing. I guess I have to learn storytelling and narrative and stuff. Bro, I'm not learning all of that stuff. Poetry doesn't pay you anything. I've spent 3 hours today just editing this poem. The amount of time I'm gonna spend on this poem by the time it's done, I'll be working under minimum wage on this poem, despite the paid gigs that come with it. And this, my friends, is why you should just be an entrepreneur, because the arts don't pay. There's a reason there's a phrase called starving artist, not starving tech bro. Sucks, right? Agreed. But alas, I do love it. And I do appreciate how this is gonna benefit people. And even at its worst, it could be better, but it's still gonna be better than things most people can do. My worst pieces are still better than the human average poem. So I'll keep that as a feather in my bonnet, feather in my cap. Oh, I'm too clever, I could have just said the straightforward thing. Exhausting. But I'm probably just exhausted because I'm quite literally exhausted. Did not get enough sleep last night. Whose fault is that? Me. I'm struggling to go to bed on time. Even now, I'm an hour late to my own bedtime. Oh, it's because I was washing my hair yesterday. I'm like, what happened? What happened? And I was working on the poem. Tiska, 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 tiska. Tiska, 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 tiska. But no, we shall overcome. I'm gonna upload this video. And then I'm gonna go start my nighttime routine because I'm already yawning, which means my body is ready to tap out, which is a great position to be in because I often have to force myself to figure out how to sleep. And since all of that is the case, should be a good night's rest. Even though my alarm is still gonna wake me up so freaking early. I'll get used to it eventually, right, guys?